Hello, I'm Ryan Durand. I'm going to be showing off the level editor that I made for Darkstar. It's a 2.5D platformer made in the XNA Game Studio with C Sharp for a senior project at DigiPen Institute of Technology. It was developed over the course of the semester, and the level editor probably amounted to about 3 work weeks worth of work. So it's got all the basic functionality of a level editor, saving loading, snapping to grids, things of that nature. So let me just go ahead and start a new level, and I'll walk you through it. So we can adjust things like the avatar start position. Let me go ahead and preview it. So this lets me see where it's at. This allows us to give us a good jumping point. So now that we're at the avatar start position, I'm going to create objects. But first I want to go ahead and show off the archetype editor. Archetypes are basically the building blocks from which all of our game is defined. You go in here, it shows you what an entity is going to be made of if it's spawned from that archetype. It gives you control over the different components, such as renderable physics, and then you can adjust the properties appropriately. We also use this for determining AI for enemies, things of that nature. So once you've created your archetypes, you just close it, and it saves out the archetype list, and then you can start using those archetypes as the building blocks to form your level. So I'm just going to go ahead and put out some objects here. It's a little hard to see what's going on here. Let me see if I can adjust the light some. There we go. Adjusting the directional lights is one of the controls that you can use in the editor. You have these little swatches that will update the color in real time, or the little tabs that you can change that will update the swatch in real time. You can also double-click the swatch to choose a specific color out of the color picker. You can adjust the attenuation. You can adjust the direction of the light. It's hard to see on this specific color on those objects. There we go. So let's go with the blue so you can see the little blue highlights. So let me place a couple more objects real quick. Just some stairs for him to jump on. Alright. So we use a layer-based level architecture. Every entity and region is going to exist within a layer on the level. So you could have things like a layer for enemies, or as I'm going to use in this level that I'm using as an example, a layer specifically to hold my regions. Regions are basically trigger space that we can place in levels that allow us to bind behaviors that do different things. Regions are loosely coupled, so regions themselves cannot have behaviors. So what we do is we spawn a dummy node, which I'll call dummy end level. Then we can go in and modify it, and we can edit its behaviors. Any entity in the scene can have behaviors on it. Behavior logic is defined elsewhere, but any entity that has a behavior can have per instance properties, such as for this one, the victory region, which allows us to win the game. We need to define what region it is that it's tied to, it's bound to. When the player gets to what region, do we determine that the game is over? So in this case, we're going to point it at regions, which was the name of the layer that we put the region in, and then the name of the region, which is end level. We simply close that, and it'll save it. But while I'm at it, I want to go ahead and I'm going to make this platform on the end, I'm going to make it oscillate up and down. So we're going to toss a behavior on it, oscillate on the y-axis, and we're going to change its per instance properties and set the amplitude to 3. So now we've got all these objects in the scene. We've got a region. We've got a dummy node that's set up to win the game for us. Now we can just save the level. Levels are saved in XML format. We have a root XML file, which will be this one that I've defined right here, example3.xml, that basically points to where to find the XML data for the layers within the level. And in those XML sheets, we'll hold all the entity information, region information, per instance, behavior data, things of that nature. So now we've saved it, we should be able to just exit, and it should drop us right back into the play state. And it drops us in wherever the avatar was at. So the nice thing about that is that if you're adjusting platforms to make sure that you can make jumps and things like of that nature, it's very easy to drop right back in and test it until you find the exact location that you want. So now I'm jumping around and moving around on that level I just defined, and then we've got that platform is moving up and down on the y-axis, so I can jump on it and then jump up and hit that trigger region and win the game. Thank you for watching. That's just a brief overview of what the level editor is capable of. Once again, I'm Ryan Duran. You can feel free to email me any questions at duran.ryan@gmail.com. That's DURAND.RYAN@gmail.com. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.